So let's see how we can pieces this guy, take it apart, remove the sugar, and try to create something from our own understanding of DAX, of what we think the previous month function is actually doing without it being sugar coated. So let's think about it. So I think that what the previous month function is doing is the previous month function is able to detect the currently selected year, and it's also able to detect the currently selected month, so that it can just go to the month exactly behind that selected month, right? Does that make sense to you? Okay, you agree with me? Yeah, we could both be wrong. But let's see, let's work with that. We'll just try and do these expansions of the time intelligence function so that it can help us to understand how the DAX engine works a lot better. So in this case now, scenario I'm describing is that the previous month function will first of all find out which year is selected, then it's going to find out which month is selected, and it's going to minus 1 from that month. Okay, so let me duplicate this formula. Ctrl A, Ctrl C to copy, right click, new measure, paste that here and make this a 2, make it like a copy. So previous month revenue 2, and I only want to expand this side of things. Okay, so because this is going to be my outputs formula at the end of the day, because I'm going to have to try and define variables that will help me know which year is selected, which month is selected, and which month is before that month. Okay, so I'm going to have to take this to my output section. When you write variables, you need two sections: your VAR section to define your variables, and your return section for the output where the variables are going to be used. So let me shift enter, shift enter, shift enter, and put a return here. Return. This is going to be my output when I'm done. The red line, I'm not going to mind it for now, and then I'll call this variable VAR, and I want to know which year do I have selected. So that's, let me call that selected year equals to the function selected value. Selected value function will help me find out which value is selected in this context. Okay, so selected value of calendar year, that tells me what that is. A new variable for selected month, and this one is going to be selected value. I'm not going to say calendar month because calendar month is a text. I won't be able to minus 1 from it, so I would use calendar month number, so I can minus 1 from this. So this is my selected month. And the third variable, I'll call this previous month, my own previous month. Now it's going to be equals to my selected month, which has a month number inside, by the way, minus 1. Okay, so now I have all the variables I'm going to need in my filters of calculate. So now I just need to go and express that filter. So now return my output, which is calculate revenue, and I don't want it to be sugar coated, so I need to come here and express it fully out, and that's me using the filter function. So filter now calculates revenue, but I want you to use these filters instead. Okay, so the first argument of filters is the table, which obviously should be a date table somewhere. So if I say calendar is my table, if I say calendar is my table, obviously I won't get the right answer, because for every time a month is selected, it will only be able to see a calendar table that contains that month alone. So that is not going to allow me to go back to a previous month. So I'm going to have to open up the calendar table by using the all function. So all of the calendar instead of just the calendar, open up the entire calendar for me, right? So filter all of the calendar, comma, and the expression I want you to use when you have all the calendar opened up, I now need you to filter it to certain things. So I need you to filter it to the point where the calendar year on that calendar table is the same thing with my selected year variable that I wrote there. It has to be the same thing with this year, and so I use the ampersand here, and the calendar month number here has to be exactly the same thing with what? With the previous month I've got over there, the previous month variable. So close this parenthesis and close this one as well here. And when I hit enter, I have my previous month revenue 2. I'm going to add that to this report. And let's see what it looks like. So if you look at this, you will see that February 2014 can give me the value of January 2014. July 2014 can give me the value for June 2014. Okay, so that looks correct, and looking at it side by side like this, you will see that they mostly return the same thing, except for at the year level. And also, if you take note, you will see that for February 2015 now, I can't retrieve the previous month. Of course, there is the previous month, which is December of 2014. I should be able to get that here, but I can't get it. So obviously, our logic is wrong. But at least we can see how something works somehow. And the next video, we are going to try to use another method and another logic as well. It's just us being creative and using our DAX skills.